and good evening. Welcome to RPM. And as Blondie once said in Atomic, tonight make it right. And we can absolutely do this tonight. We will make it more than right. It's Thursday, it's RPM, and it's Premier Division here at Silverstone. Not only that, Silverstone has 10 right corners. I am RPM Jones, and I am joined by the amazing, the wonderful, the brilliant, the brummy Kieran. How's it going, Kieran?
Hello there, Jones. I'm excited to commentate on Premier Division. We have rain here in the sprint, and I think we can expect a lot of crashes and a lot of spins here today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to make it really, really difficult. Yeah, I mean, it was chaos in the sprint in First Division. I'm pretty sure it was in Championship as well. We've got a full grid. We've got some very fast drivers. We've got no assists. We've got wet weather. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
And this is the first time. You certainly won't see what I'm seeing in First Division. Because it's an Aston Martin on pole position here. It is a reverse grid. But I love to see it.
you don't see that anywhere else. Well, definitely won't see that Championship Division or Premier Division.
No, and it's even less likely in First Division where they have a permanent driver in the shape of yours truly. You'll be disappointed to see though, because of the reverse grid, we've got Glassy and Higgsy down in 15th and 16th in the McLarens. They'll be looking to gain some places for the actual race.
Yeah, I think they might be going for a top 10 finish, maybe. Thinking 9 laps, which is a long sprint.
Yeah, and sometimes I hate wet starts because we like a gamble here. Everyone's on intermediates, of course. Just got in chat, we got Akko. I'm just going to do the three letters at the start of your name there. Evening all, good evening. Enjoy the stream. Good luck to all drivers. Nice to have you along. I hope you enjoy what is going to be a really exciting evening of racing. We've got Ivor in chat saying, well, hello all. Ivor with a massive car launch today in the ACC chat. Brilliant to see. We got Smith saying, evening guys. Can you put the sound of Kieran harder? Kieran, I don't know if you can... Let me see if I can turn up the volume. Or if you can put your mic closer. Let me have a look.
Well, my headset doesn't really have a mic. It's the PlayStation headset.
Yeah, and that's the issue I'm having is I'm also, after having problems with my mic, had to change.
Maybe if I speak louder.
Yeah. Ivor, I'll tell you what, because it's the sprint race is about to start, let me know how the sound's going throughout the race for Kieran. If not, I'll try and find out how to turn it all up for the race. But here we go. Kieran, do you want to do the honours?
Okay, let's go.
Perfect, and we're away here at Silverstone for the sprint in Premier Division. And
Mango's got a great start.
Mango's got a beautiful start. I've got a massive smile across my face right now, seeing an Aston Martin running away. Evil Master also up one position. Davey, I was about to say, Davey's up there in 5th. I'll get on board with this because it's all kicking off. Can't get a great camera angle. We've got also Cosmo round. I did mention to you before the race. I thought he might spin. Well, Evil's got a good start, up 2 positions. And we know how quick he was from last week. Davey, what a flying start, up 8 positions. Huss also in Alfa Romeo, up 7 positions. Colin, flying start. Don't know if you guys have heard of Colin before. He can be quite quick sometimes. Up 7 positions. Andrew up 5. Cosmo, the big loser, down 15 places at the start. And just on board.
Before the stream, we did say that Cosmo would not make it past turns 3 or lap 3, he said.
Yeah, and I'm feeling pretty arrogant about that now. I am on board with Luke, who's very, very close behind Huss. We've also got Sminotler trying to get back that position from Davey. Seeing Smith saying Mango's got no telemetry, Cosmo's changed PSN. Yeah, sorry about that.
Collins had a moment on the exit of that corner.
Yeah, and so has Huss. Huss has gone really, really wide, and Luke will be promoted into 5th. So the top 5 places today in the sprint pay points. First gets 5, down to 5th with 1. Smith saying some issues with the telemetry. Don't you worry, Smith. We're just glad to have you here and glad to have a telemetry system. So no problems there. F1 Widow saying evening everyone. Evening F1 Widow, also known as Mrs. Bold. Colin's got a great start, so you'll be happy with that. And as you can see on board, Luke, fresh from prom, he's flying up into 5th position, and it'd be nice to see Luke get a good result here tonight. As Ivor also supporting that. Sorry.
I think Andrew's had a spin because now he's dropped down to 16.
Yeah, Andrew right at the back. He's actually behind Cosmo at the moment. And Quinn also being overtaken here by DZ Carton, who has actually, for the most part, been more impressive in Premier Division than he has in Championship so far. I hope for a clean race for him again tonight, because he finished, was it 2nd, I think, a few weeks ago, or 3rd? And
yeah, in Abu Dhabi, he got 2nd.
Yeah, and I think he's getting used to RPM. But he's got some serious pace, and it's good to see him going so well, as Colin is now past Dragos, and he's going round the outside on Sinful here. Sinful parks his car in the right place. Colin will have a better exit, and he might send it up the inside. Sinful covers that off. Colin's going to go round the outside, which will give him the inside to the next corner. Gets it tucked in, be careful on those curbs in the wet, and Colin is through and up to 7th. Colin usually says to me, oh, as Luke has a moment and Colin's passed him, Luke's probably took his front wing off. He hasn't took any of his front wing off. Very, very lucky boy through there, but he hit the wall on the pit straight, obviously getting a bit too trigger happy on the throttle. And Colin now up 11 places and already looking at potentially getting some points here. As Mango picking up a 3-second penalty, not in an Aston Martin. I don't want you to see you doing that. And also seeing Mr. Inorganic in the chat saying, evening all, hello Mr. Jones and Kieran, good luck to Alfa Romeo boys and Higgsy. So just keep an eye on the Alfa Romeos and Higgsy. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah,
Smith also saying that was awesome racing from Colin and Sinful. Sorry Kieran, what were you going to say?
I was talking about how Alfa Romeo currently 3rd and 5th, although Colin just overtook Kusuk now.
Yeah,
and 3rd and 6th.
Yeah, and Colin absolutely flying at this stage in the race. And because I found this was the issue, you wouldn't have had it in actually Championship, is you don't, well, actually you would have had it, but we had a wet sprint race, but then it doesn't tell you what the weather's going to be like for the actual race. So I just kind of went for the dry setup and hoped that it would be dry in the race. So that's the other thing to watch out for in a sprint race, is people maybe on very, very different strategies here.
I think that happened to a championship in Austria, where I didn't know if it was going to be. It was wet in the race, the sprint, but I think it was dry in the main race.
Yeah, and it does blindside you a little bit. Also seeing that Evil now in 2nd position, who was brilliant last week, won Driver of the Week as well. He's picked himself up a 3-second penalty. I would say for any of you tuning in and haven't seen the races this week, that is not unusual this week. It's so easy to just go an inch or two wide of the corner and pick up a penalty, and we've seen lots of penalties so far this week. So I think that will be something to watch out for in the race, as Colin now trying to go up the inside of Sminotler. He's on an absolute charge.
Colin is on 2 warnings.
And there's Kieran on a fantastic telemetry there. But Sminotler running very wide, and Colin actually not quite getting a drive. So Sminotler didn't back out when he went wide, and Colin's just going to have to be a bit more patient here. Sminotler now 3 seconds behind Davey, who has dropped back from the front 2 as well, but they've both got penalties, so it's all still to play for here. And obviously this affects your grid position for the main race. Colin now diving back up the inside. That gives him the outside line to the chicane, but he's going to be fairly easily past there. And he will now get charging after the Alfa Romeo of Davey. We're going to go back in the pack and see some fights if we can. We've got DZ Karting and Luke very close together, but Luke catching Sinful as well at the same time. All kicking off so far in the rain.
Evil is now 5/10 behind Mango, so he has gained on him. Colin's taking a 3-second time penalty.
And that's very unusual. You don't see Colin do that so often, and that's exactly what we're saying, is people are picking up penalties very easily around here this week. And that's something to watch out for. Smith also looking at telemetry says Glassy fastest sector 3, and you can see him right there trying to go around the outside of DZ Karting. He's still hanging in there, but he's got Luke for company as well, and he just has to yield a little bit, but he's going to have a run all the way down. He's starting to use, Karting's starting to use ERS to defend, but Glassy might have to keep a little bit patient here, get through Maggots and Beckett's, get into the third sector and see if he can make the move. And Quinn picking up a penalty now, so the penalty's starting to fly, and I think that's going to be a big story for tonight throughout the evening.
Yeah, Evil and Mango collided.
And I haven't even been watching that, and yeah, Mango is facing the wrong way, and that might be something we see in the stewards room, because I believe Evil got a penalty there for that.
I think Evil was on the inside, and then he just caught his Mango's rear left tyre.
Yeah, and Evil now has got a 5-second penalty on top of his already 3-second penalty. Mango is back up and running. He's still in second place. They were really flying, the pair of them, away from the field. But he's obviously got so much heat into those tyres. They're going to be unbearable, at least for this next lap, as Sabiaka now, the next driver, to pick up a penalty. What I'm surprised by here, Kieran, and he'll probably come alive in the race, but Maggot down in 17th, who's been brilliantly consistent so far this season, hasn't really got going in a sprint race at all.
I did see early in the sprint that there was yellow flags and him dropping to the back of the grid, just as Luke has just he dropped down to 13.
Yeah, and he's having a bit of trouble. And Colin, he's got his second penalty, so he's 6 seconds now. So he might lose a lot of positions at the end here. He might lose potentially back to Dragos here, but if Glassy and Sinful get a move on, Colin could end up way lower down, as the penalty's really flying in at the moment. Inorganic saying, I've never seen an Aston spin before. We know that's a lie. You've seen it from much closer. And the driver's usually wearing a purple helmet and sounds exactly like me. As Maggot actually up into 16th. I'm going to go try and find the best fights. We've got Colin, who's pushing hard to catch Davey, but Davey, the only one in the top 5 not to have a penalty. If he can start to find a bit of pace, he could take this.
Davey has 2 warnings, so for the final 3 laps, he'll have to...
Well, at the moment, if he can keep it clean and keep this distance, Kieran, he will be in first position by the end of the sprint. Because Mango is outside of the 5-second window, he needs to take the win. Davey is within the 8-second window, just to Evil. And Colin, obviously, behind him has got 6 seconds of penalty, so he doesn't need to worry about Colin too much. You don't. Yeah, it's not often you hear us say that.
Yeah, Colin's right behind him now to Cop's corner. So I think Colin will probably try and find the overtake. Can't remember what the corner's called. After the second straight.
Yeah, absolutely. And He's just going to have to stick in there. He's going to use his ERS now. He'll shoot to the outside. Davey will defend the inside, but I imagine Davey won't be fighting this too hard. He'll probably use the toe from Colin as much as he can. He knows he's in a good position. He will see those penalties when he looks in the top left of his screen. And he will be fine as Colin runs quite deep there. And clearly, I think what we're seeing here is, from some of the mistakes from some of the drivers, is a lot of dry setups out there, so it'd be very, very interesting if we get wet weather in the race. Inorganic saying, do we know the weather for the race? I don't know if you were able to see that, Kieran. I don't know if the telemetry lets us see that.
Have a look now. It's gonna be rain for the rest of sprint, and in the race it's gonna be light cloud.
Okay. Well, there we go. And that's the weather. Smith also saying about the audio. I will get this sorted. I'm hoping you can hear us well enough to just make out what we're saying, but I might have to switch back to my very terrible microphone. Just so you can hear us a little bit better. It's a very terrible solution for a quick fix. Right, let's get onto the battles. Glassy still stuck behind Sinful, looking to make that move. He won't be taking any extra points in the sprint as it stands unless the penalties get more severe out front. But he really needs to clear Sinful here. And he's got Dragos and then Huss not far up the road.
He has Andrew behind him as well. They're gonna... Well, Glass is going on the outside. Sinful holds the holds 8th place, and Andrew now gaining on him.
And I've just quickly switched my microphone now while you were doing some lovely commentary there. Your dad's saying, don't turn Kieran up. We're trying to turn his volume down. Well, I've not listened in organic, and I'm hoping
delete that comment.
This is louder.
Luke.
And Luke has retired. So there won't be a safety car because it's last that, and he's lost it on the main straight again there. Cosmo actually drops by the rest of the field. I don't know if he had to pit or anything. I know he had a couple of spins. But at this point, Davey, let's have a look at gaps to the leader. Davey 10 seconds back, so he needs to find 2 seconds to catch Evil. Smith, if you could tell me if you've got car audio there.
Well, nothing can seem to go right, can it?
No, I know we had some server issues before tonight. So Davey's not going to get past. I'll go back on board. Well, I'll watch Evil cross the line, as I should. And then we'll see how it unfolds behind. And Ivor and Smith confirming the technical issues have been overcome. It's one of the biggest wins of tonight. Talking of wins, Evil takes the sprint win. Mango, that's a big moment, finishing in style. He will take second place, but that might cost him because Davey's going to cross the line now. It doesn't cost him, but Davey takes third, Colin at fourth, Sminotler will take fifth, who is also sideways. Huss then will take sixth, as we then see Glassy did get past Sinful, so finally got the move done. Andrew 10th, Higgsy 11th, Quinn, Carton, Maggot, Zabiaka, Cosmo and Luke, unfortunately, retiring. At least he will be compensated with his salary from Championship Division commentary. And yeah, so penalties is going to play a massive part tonight, Kieran.
Yeah,
even in the dry, I think.
Yeah, people will try their best to not cross the white line. I think the pit lane as well. That's a very slow and early pit limiter. It's like 37 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's super slow. It feels like an age. Colin taking driver of the day here, but the day's not over. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think I got confused on Tuesday. I thought the penalties gave you minus time. That's why I kept accumulating them. Apparently, that's
Uh,
not how it works. It's
that
quite
makes sense,
concerning
makes
that
sense.
I'm here to help with the rules of the league. So, it's lucky I'm in charge of the spreadsheets. I haven't not won a race this season. Without ever actually winning a race. So as you can see there is your starting grid as well. In RPM, ignore 6th, 7th and 8th getting points. It will be the top 5 who gets points. So Colin will still pick up 2 points from that race. Evil Master will take the maximum of 5. And Mango, I believe on his debut, taking second place in a sprint, 4 points and a great start. Inorganic saying, I'm also trying to find Callum's volume switch. Kids should come with a volume control. Well, with technology these days, you never know. Ivor saying, so, any new ACC drivers here? Need a mate for Zab? See Discord or ask Jones. I am Jones and feel free to ask. Zabiaka is currently lacking a teammate, so if anyone likes ACC and they want to drive, stop by.
Spin in front of you and
And
ruin your race.
that's some PTSD from Kieran from Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask you for your predictions, Kieran, but inorganic, I know you're watching in chat. That also means you will have your predictions. But Kieran, your predictions for the race.
Now, I'm gonna go for a bit of a unusual one here. I'm gonna go Colin first. I'm gonna go Evil second. I'm gonna go Davy third.
Okay. Well, I can see that happening. I'm going to go for Mango first, Maggot second, I don't know, Carton third. It's nothing
Any
to do. It's nothing to do with the fact I'm an Aston Martin driver.
nothing influencing your decision?
No, nothing could possibly be influencing my decision there.
That's the case. Higgsy first, Glassy second, and
Oh, Inorganic saying you've just said his prediction, so he's thinking it's going to be Colin, Evil, and
no,
and Davey.
I'm wrong then.
Yeah, there's going to be a
Davy's
mass
gonna
retirement
disconnect. Evil's gonna spin somehow.
and take out Colin with him by the sounds of it.
Yeah. That was Evil Master in the grass.
Yeah, that's not going to do his tyres any good. Then there's been a few words exchanged already between Evil Master and Mango in the chat about the incident. So maybe we'll see the gloves come off a bit. That'll be very exciting. Mango, obviously, new permanent driver here in Premier Division. And a very impressive sprint from him, to be fair. Kieran, what happened to your double podium with Booty yesterday? I'm not going to say who said that in chat.
Can you delete comments off chat? No, ban him from the stream, ban him from RPM, block him. I don't know who this inorganic is. Not a very good driver.
And Smith, clearly, he's got the better RPM odds up. 10-1 collision into turn 1 with Evil and Mango. But here we go. And here you go, Kieran.
Let's go.
Perfect. And we'll go on board with this. But Mango getting a fantastic start. And Evil actually bogging down. Davey might take him as well. And Davey does, getting on board here. But Evil fighting back. Davey's got the inside line. Sorry, we were looking at the nature a little bit there with that tree. And Mango going very, very well off the start there. And, well, Davey coming back for it. And we could have a right battle on our hands tonight. The Evil must have some mega straight line speed. Because he just breezed straight past back Davey halfway down the straight.
Yeah, Davey had a look around the outside. Colin's not far from this battle as well.
Yeah, I actually forgot to look at the tyre choices, and there's a real split among the field. But Davey has the tyre advantage at this point. A lot of drivers opting for what you'd usually call the alternate strategy, but it's not figuring out that way because half the field's doing it. Smith saying, did Davey do a wet setup maybe? Quite possible. I don't know if we can see his wings on telemetry.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Winging. It's doing the whole 000 thing. So.
And Smith saying, Smith is like the stat man here. He should take over the spreadsheets from me. The winning strategy in both races this week has been the alternate strategy. So hards to mediums is the way to go so far in RPM this week. And Colin actually is being dropped by the front three. Not massively, he's still within DRS range when it opens, but he's not caught them yet. But maybe he's just biding his time, managing those tyres. He's got a gap to Smonopolis, so he doesn't need to be too concerned. And we'll keep on board with the Davey Evil Master battle at the moment. I can see Maggot also on the left hand side of your screen, very close behind Luke at the moment, and he'll be trying to challenge him into the corner. These guys just gone through as Glassy gets past Sinful back up into 9th.
Evil is slowly falling behind Mango. I think when DRS gets enabled, gonna try and keep within a second of Mango.
Yeah, it's super right impressive from Mango so far tonight. And Colin now actually he's got back, well, he's kind of maintained it. He's caught up a little bit, just less than a tenth. But he's coming, and actually it's quite surprising. Oh, and Sinful must have got past Glassy. I'll go back on board with that. I'm glad I did, because it's all kicking off. It's a Mercedes-McLaren battle, 2x2. It's like Noah's Ark round here. Higgsy round the outside of Quinn. Glassy on the inside of Sinful now. Both McLarens going down the inside. Sinful runs deep. Higgsy is past Quinn. Glassy gets out of shape a little bit behind Sinful, who is defending this one hard. Glassy is still fighting this though, and it's all kicking off for 9th position. We've got a yellow flag.
Karting.
And that is karting, you're right, at the back of the field. And there won't be any need as Glassy running wide again. He's desperate to get this move done on Sinful, I think. And he was finding this in the sprint race as well. He can't be separated from, and he wants to get through. And Quinn now starting to drop back. Going to go on board with Higgsy, who's got the best view in the house. But maybe the McLarens might have to switch positions. And you can see Sinful just putting his car in the right places at the moment, defending this one very, very hard. I can see Evil Master actually out in front has now caught up to Mango again. He's within half a second, so he will be in a DRS range. And I might just need to go on board with that for a second as they're coming out of this section into the DRS zone now. And he's gaining, but not quite enough before corner entry. Mango will hold on to the lead, at least for this lap.
And Davies 1.5 behind, so he won't get DRS.
Yeah,
and vulnerable to Colin.
Yeah, who's really close in behind now as Mango and Evil Master are trading fastest laps there. Evil's going to have another chance in DRS. See, Glassy's still stuck behind Sinful. Maggot has gone round, so it's one Aston Martin leading, one Aston Martin at the back now. And Evil Master doesn't get as good an exit as Mango there, and Mango might just be safe again. And clearly he's just focusing on his exit speeds at the moment, and it's really, really paying off for him. And Maggot has gone round again on those seriously overheated tyres now. Colin is still stuck behind Davey. And Evil's here now. Evil is very, very close on Mango. But I think Mango's running a little bit less wing here.
Yeah, surprised Mango's held on for this long. I think the Davy Colin battle will be helping Evil as well. As soon as he gets past Mango, I think he'll be building a gap and relying
absolutely.
on
Mango
Davy.
trying to break the toe and go to the inside. It might be, and Mango's still holding on there, and he's still right there. Evil Master does have the inside line. Mango has to yield in the end. And actually, Smith said something very interesting in chat. Oh, and Mango goes round. And watch out, he's near the racing line. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh. Oh, as the Mercedes goes round, that's sinful. Oh, and Alpine. Everyone's wanting to join in with what Mango started there. And that's what you expect to see from the Aston Martins. Smith said something really interesting, because now Mango is actually, unfortunately, out of this battle, and he seems to have really good pace, so we've got to watch out for him making positions back up as the race goes on. But Smith saying, Evil has similar tyre wear to Davy despite the hard compound, riding them really hard at the moment, and Colin has lower tyre wear, maybe saving the tyres. So Evil Master has been pushing hard.
And tyre wear can get pretty high in this track. I went on softs from lap 19 to the final lap, and there was like a 60% at the end.
Yeah, the loads you put through your tyres here makes the tyre wear really, really high. I know I put the softs on at the end and it just got out of control, to be honest, very quickly. Colin's still stuck behind Davey at the moment. Davey's connection seems to be stable, touch wood at the moment. He's going very, very well. Canham saying Red Bull used to give you wings, but they ran out because they had to keep replacing the ones I broke. Not anymore, Callum. Potential driver of the week coming up this week. And Smith saying all those drivers that spun, believe this or not, Kieran, none of them got damage. There was 3 of them in a row. And Dragos, actually, who was just minded his own business. Just a shout out to him. He's up 3 positions. He's 6.5 seconds off the podium places, but up into 4th, and just shows you consistent laps, minding your own business can go a very, very long way in league racing. He has got Sminotler for company and a big train behind, stuck behind Huss at the moment. We got Andrew, we got the Aston Martin of Mango trying to recover from that spin. We got the 2 McLarens on a bit of a charge now. They've dispatched the Mercedes drivers.
Usyk and Andrew, they were side by side into Cops. They're still side by side doing Maggots and Beckett's. Andrew seems to have got ahead. As Colin gets past Davey now, up into 2nd. Davey's still trying to hang in, but can't. But Colin will now try to chase down Evil.
Yeah, and I've got Inorganic in chat saying, what are the odds on, basically Colin, Evil, Davey finishing positions, the same prediction he made as you. Considering you made the prediction in Organic, Bet RPM is pricing it at 200 to 1. They've seen your predictions before and they can't believe it can possibly become true. It's looking very likely at the moment. I'd put your house on it.
Luke Spurn.
And yeah, Luke not having a race. He'd won, obviously had too much of a good time at prom last week. And his mind's off the racing at the moment, but we'd like to see Luke get back up there. As I said, at least he's very well compensated. And Smith, he's brilliant on telemetry. He's got a man on the SkyPad. Colin, 0.339 seconds faster than Evil Master last lap. Colin has been conserving these tyres, and he is on the hunt now. And Smith's right, he's 2 tenths up this lap as well, so that's half a second in the last lap and a half.
Is the fastest lap telemetry working? Just
It is working at the moment. And if you're still listening, Smith, I'm sure you might have muted me for my very annoying voice. It looks brilliant. Inorganic saying he wished Luke good luck yesterday. That explains Luke's misfortune so far.
that explains everything. Maybe when Inorganic makes predictions, if they're correct, it's obviously because he never wished them luck. Maybe only when he wishes them luck, that's when they get cursed.
Well, this could be the thing. This is the theory that many top scientists at NASA are working on at the moment. Andrew has had a moment, and it's a fairly big moment, just before the DRS line, and he is now back in 12th. So, not the race so far for Andrew, who has been in very, very good form this season. It's all getting very, very tight in the battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th here. As Quinn now on the inside of Higgsy. Oh, where am I here? And we're not going to see a Max Verstappen Hamilton moment through there, fortunately. I say that, I do believe that's where I may have sent it on Mr. Inorganic earlier in the week. I went very Max Verstappen now, and I apologise for that to you now. I don't know what came over me. Higgsy now going back round the outside after nearly getting overtaken by Quinn. He's going to try and get Huss down into the chicane. He's got the inside line. He will brake later, but he gives the room. Higgsy, always a very, very clean driver and good racer, and he is still stuck behind. So Huss, as always, we've seen him this season so many times, put up a great defence. Higgsy now trying to go round the outside at turn 1. Can't get it done. And that's given Quinn the opportunist to have a little look up the inside. And now Higgsy might send it on the inside. It's getting very, very tight between these guys. And all this has allowed Glassy just to drop him by 3 seconds.
I think if her span, I would have had PTSD. Because that's exactly what happened. Pretty much what happened yesterday. Quinn has got past Higgsy as...
Oh, it's Higgsy! Higgsy hits the back of Huss. Or was it Quinn? I've always mistaken people at the moment. And he's round. I was literally just about to say, he's on a good strategy with the hards there compared to these guys on the mediums. And I didn't say it, but it was still like my thinking it was the curse of the commentator in itself. Now Luke is past Higgsy, and Higgsy now has a recovery drive on his hands. And he's back with some hard runners down there in 14th. We'll go back on board. We've got Mango getting past Dragos. And Mango already back up to 4th and just 6.5 seconds behind Davey here. Considering he had a massive moment and was way down the field, that's some really impressive driving. That's what we expect from Aston Martin drivers.
I'm loving it.
Having a great time. I just don't get to watch Aston Martin drivers that often. So it feels great. Well, Maggott's been ever consistent this season. It's very out of sorts for him so far. But great to see Mango right up there.
Check lap times for Maga. He's
Now I got a question for you, because I must have missed something here. Did Quinn, when he got hit by Higgsy, did he also go round, or has he lost it somewhere else? Because he's now behind Andrew and Zabiaka.
He did lose control, but like he only went onto the grass and he didn't do a full spin like Higgsy did.
Okay, so he just dropped a few positions from that, and so he'll be looking to get up. Now, one of the things I've noticed here so far this week, if you can time the undercut well, it is super powerful. And maybe some of these medium runners will be thinking that now. The pit window usually says around lap 12 to lap 14 for the mediums. But I think you can, if you pit at the end of this lap here, which will be the one going on to 11, and you put some good times in with the hard tyres, you could massively benefit from it. I see Mango's picked up a time penalty out in front, but he's also gone and taken fastest lap. We've got some people taking to the pits. We've got Dragos, we've got Huss, we've got Zabiaka all in the pit lane. They must have been listening to the stream and thinking Jones is a genius. That will be instantly proven wrong within the next 10 minutes, guys. I have no faith in my own abilities. So what we got here, we still got Quinn and Andrew, the big battle on track at the moment. We got a lot of position changing out the back as people coming out of the pit lane. As you said yourself, Kieran, super slow pit lane round here.
Yeah, and on the pit exit, you could hit the wall, and then you have wing damage. You were to pit again.
Now I've heard about a driver, I don't know if he's an RPM, he might be, but he's super slow in the pit lane around Silverstone. In fact, he even struggles to get the car in gear. Don't know who that could be. I'm going to go on board because we haven't checked in with these guys for a while. I'm on board with Colin here. He's very close to evil now. And we saw these two doing battle last week. I don't know if we can see the tyre wear at all on these guys, but this would be interesting. But these guys doing battle once again.
Evil has 2 warnings. Colin has 0.
Yeah, I'm
Colin's
seeing
taking a lot more careful than we did in the sprint.
Absolutely, and I'm just having a look at the tyre wear now. Yeah, Colin, 40% tyre, well, 42% tyre wear on the front left, compared to Evil Master at 55%. So Evil Master is absolutely putting the life out of these tyres, and he's got to watch it, because when you get towards 70-odd%, that's when things can start to go very wrong. For me, they go wrong about 10%, but that's another story. We'll stay on board with this. Also, Higgsy and Luke still doing battle, half a second within each other. And as you can see there, Quinn now pitting, and I think he's going to potentially lose out some positions or at least some time because of the guys undercutting. He's tried to cover that off as well as he could. Yeah, Huss also getting past him there. Zabiaka picking up a penalty.
Not as much penalties as there was in the sprint.
Yeah, that might be a bit weather-based, and I think as well the sprint's just always quite chaotic, isn't it? I think like it's just a lot more jostling for position. I mean, it sounds so obvious. That's obviously what you're going to see, but it's amazing how different a race I found the sprint was to the actual race, the way people were driving.
Yeah, I think sprint less laps, and you want to try and get yourself as high position possible, not only for more points but for better starting grid for the main race. Mango's into the pits now.
Yeah, and that's a very early pit stop for the hard tyres. I'm going to have to make a quick animal noise. Meow is my reply to Inorganic, who has said, I forgive you for the overtake, didn't fight it, as an Aston is always good for a spin. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, well, I've lost this battle. I'll see you next Tuesday. Elbows out again, I think. And I'll also see you on the track in ACC. So Colin's still stuck behind. I'm very surprised by how early Mango's pitted there, because to take the mediums, well, he should be able to take the mediums 13 laps. It's on lower fuel loads as well, so that works in his favour, but the last couple of laps are going to feel horrible on them. But as you can see, Davey on a high fuel load, so he's going okay on them, but he's 7 seconds now adrift of the front two. Evil Master, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Colin has not made that mistake. So Evil Master just getting a little bit loose and nervy here at the moment. But they've pitted very early on those hards again. So they're going for the undercut, but I think that's too early. I think this brings people like Glassy into play.
I'm hoping to see punctures now.
Well, I just think they'll be able to keep their tyres on. it's going to be a bit leery at the end on the last lap. But Glassy, if there's a safety car or something that happens now, he's quits in. I just think it's a lap or two too early for the hard runners there.
Yeah, well, from my experience, when you need a safety car, it won't come out. When you don't need a safety car, it will come out.
Yeah, it's sod's law. It always seems to be the case. Now, Evil Master has that 5-second penalty to contend with. He's got Colin close behind. I'm going to have a little look to see, or I don't know if you've already got this up yourself, Kieran, is if Colin is close to warnings.
Colin has 1 warning.
And Evil Master 2, so Evil Master's even in a worse position on that. But Colin's not close any time at the moment. Andrew also, he got promoted up to second place in the other Red Bull at the moment, and there's a yellow flag in sector 2. That is, surprisingly enough, an Aston Martin. And it's Maggot. It's just not been his evening. He had an unfortunate race last week, and unfortunately, that luck is continuing here. Inorganic saying, I took my hards to lap 16, so yeah, early for the hard runners. Yeah, I really do think it's early. I know the mediums can last here. They'll be a bit sketchy, but I just think I'm really quite surprised they went in that early.
Andrew has sped in the pit lane. I did say pit limit. The pit lane was very early and very like 37 miles per hour. I think,
especially because you have to slow down further than at other tracks. It's only you don't have to slow down to 37 miles an hour, do you? So that's the other thing that catches people out, I think.
Yeah, I think for me, I found the best place, well, for me to break in the pit lane was around the 100-meter board on the left hand side, and it was still quite early, but like at least it's better than speeding in the pit lane.
Absolutely. And I'll let you explain speeding in the pit lane to Evil Master. It's dangerous, it's silly, and it gets you a penalty. Evil Master now just 1.3 seconds ahead of Colin, and he might have thrown away the race victory with that speeding. Luke back up to 5th. Ever consistent, Mr. Luke. The highest paid commentator in the world, from what I understand from my sources. Following close behind Higgsy, who's also on a bit of a recovery drive here. I'll go back on board. We've got a yellow flag, which appears to be Cosmo. Cosmo does like a yellow flag as Glassy enters the pit lane. And you can see on board with Glassy there how slow it is through that pit lane. It's painful. Evil Master now setting the fastest lap of the race. He's pushing hard. He knows he's in trouble from Colin.
Trying to build 5 seconds ahead. Mango been setting a lot of fast laps.
Yeah, and Mango's absolutely flying at the moment. Back up to 4th, but that's net 3rd at the moment. So he's back into the podium positions as things stand. Because Higgsy's still yet to pit. Unless a safety car happens now, things could change. But at this moment, we're back to where we started, really, with Mango, Evil Master, Colin and Davey in the net top 4. Luke has pitted now. He's dropped some positions. He's dropped back behind his brother. I really do hope we see them have a battle on track. You know I love to see it.
For the battle.
Absolutely. Smith saying he thinks Glassy will come out just behind Carton. Smith, you're goddamn right. Glassy has come out just behind Carton. He's come out so close behind Carton. He's staring at the exhaust and he's going to send it. Here comes Glassy, and this is what we like to see from the Geordie. And he goes up the inside and he'll have the corner as he approaches Maggot's here. And the McLaren now starting to get into his stride, and he will try and chase after the Alpha Tauri of Sminotla ahead. And I bet you loved to see that one, didn't you, Kieran?
That was amazing to watch.
Is it because his car's orange?
Maybe.
I've got some worse news for you here. Mango now very close behind Higgsy. Green versus orange battle here.
Oh, this is
Oh, and he looks down the inside. And I got to say, on board with Mango, I didn't see bad connection from him, but it looks really glitchy.
Looks like he's jumping around.
Yeah, so I'm going to go on board with Higgsy instead and do the outboard camera, just to satisfy my OCD, otherwise it looks too glitchy. But he is moving around a lot. But he's still in there. He doesn't necessarily need to overtake. Ivor saying he hates orange cards. If any of the guys in the ACC league are watching this back, I think that's directed towards you, the Flying Dutchman. Don't take it as an insult. You'll just have to beat Ivor and Davy's team. Oh, as Mango goes into the back of Higgsy there. I don't know if that's a glitch again. It's really stressing me out how much this is moving around. Inorganic saying Higgsy on a better strategy than Mango. Yeah, but Higgsy hasn't stopped yet, has he? Or has he?
No, he's going into the pits now.
Yeah, so Higgsy's going to be like 30 seconds behind Mango, so it's going to be too late anyway. I was surprised Mango was finding it that hard when he knew he had to pit. And we've got Smith in the chat again saying Higgsy should be coming out around Luke when he pits. We'll go on board with Luke to see how correct this is. Dragos now past Andrew, past Higgsy, and Luke is chasing behind Zabiaka here. Zabiaka actually no longer a Premier Division driver. He is reserving tonight, so he will not be getting points. So everyone below that will be promoted up. So Luke goes around the first corner. Is Smith right? There comes Higgsy. Smith, you're an absolute genius. And it's going to be tight, and his tyres are going to be cold. And Luke has dropped it. And I apologise, Luke. I'm going to quickly go back to the battle ahead. Every time I go on board with Luke, I catch him doing a spin. And I don't think that's Luke at all. That's just me always cursing him.
Everyone's cursing everybody.
Yeah, and just looking at the gap out in front, I think now Higgsy will start to pull away from Zabiaka as he gets those tyres warm. So I'm going to go, well, I'll keep on board. To be fair, everyone's a little bit glitchy for me at the moment. The movements look so strange. Actually, Zab really staying on the back of Higgsy here, gets a bit out of shape through there, and he'll drop back crucially in the DRS zone, so Higgsy will escape, and Higgsy will go chasing after Huss and Quinn. So Higgsy's going to be really feisty in these last few laps. He's got the freshest tyres out of everyone on track apart from DZ Karting, but DZ Karting just reserving it and way away, and Zab has spun. So everyone who comes near Higgsy on the track, this has nothing to do with Higgsy. It's not his fault, but they're spinning at the moment. He's like the irresistible force towards the spin. Colin is being maintained at the moment. 1.6 seconds. Actually, Evil Master's dropped him a tenth from when we last checked in. And he's dropped him another tenth. So at the moment, Colin not quite having the answer to Evil Master, but it doesn't matter too much at the moment. He knows he can afford to lose another 3 seconds and still get the win. Maggot picks up a penalty. It's been a disastrous night so far for Maggot, and it's been so unusual for him this season. And maybe Colin's biding his time here again, because we know Evil Master's been pushing his tyres very, very hard tonight, as Huss is now past Quinn. And I wonder if Quinn had a moment, or it might have been out of the hairpin. Oh, sorry.
Have 2 warnings now.
So maybe he's backed off a little bit, not wanting to pick up a penalty, because he knows if he picks up a 3-second penalty now, that will award Evil Master the win, as he is a 10th out of the 2-second gap there. We've got a yellow flag as Quinn going for the move, goes around the outside. He gets the move done before the corner. Higgsy now chasing after Huss, and he's caught them up ever so quickly. Higgsy just 4 tenths behind Huss, and Higgsy is absolutely flying at the moment. Mango picks up another penalty. That could start to get costly. Davey 7.2 seconds behind, and we'll go on board with Higgsy here, who's going to be on an absolute charge. Oh, Evil Master must have made a mistake, actually. I'll go over here. Colin's within 3 tenths. So what's happened here?
I have no idea.
I also
This
have no
was,
idea what the yellow flag was for.
I think that was Cosmo.
It's a safe
I think.
prediction, the safest prediction of the night.
I think I did see the Alpine corner at the same corner.
Yeah,
I
and
have
Dragos
no
hasn't
idea how
lost
many times
position, so it
Cosmo's
must
spun
be.
there.
Well, we'll be renaming these corners Cosmos corners again. He does love to spin round. And Smith again, look at that on the sky pad. Yellow flag for Cosmo, 18 lap old mediums, and Smith absolutely smashing it again. And Inorganic now joining, he's clearly watching the telemetry as well. Must be close to puncture, can't check due to the name change. Okay, so Cosmo could be on the verge of puncture, that could be exciting. Evil now managed to build that gap slightly back up to Colin, but that mistake could have been so vital because he had really built up a nice gap. I'm going to go back towards Higgsy, who's been on a charge, and he's going round the outside of Huss. Huss trying to keep in there, but Higgsy's just got so much grip at the moment. Huss gets a good exit, but Higgsy will be away, and Higgsy is going chasing now. Cosmo DNF in the pit lane, so it's not going to be a safety car.
Boy, oh, flag. So
Smith,
that's Cosmo retiring now.
yeah, in the
I
pit
think he
lane.
spun every lap at that same corner.
Very impressive indeed. Smith also saying that Colin gained 1.9 seconds in sector 1. Who's just on board with there? Higgsy now going for the overtake on Quinn. Colin within 1/10. So yeah, Evil Master must have had a moment in sector 1 of the previous lap, which has cost him dearly. But also speed in the pit lane is another issue for him there. Higgsy still very close behind Quinn, and he's going to have to wait. They'll go into Maggots and through Beckett's, and he'll have DRS opening very soon, so he'll remain patient as long as he can. And will he use that ERS? Not at the moment. And Quinn looking like he's got decent straight line speed, but he is possibly using his ERS as well. Mocky saying, how much time penalty for Evil? It's a 5-second penalty. He got it for speeding in the pit lane. Really disappointing for him. And he had pulled out a 2-second gap on Colin, but made a mistake just a couple of laps ago, which has dropped him right back in it. And we'll go on board with this now. So Smith also saying Cosmo had 98% tyre wear on one of his tyres. That makes a lot of sense why he's so far behind and retired. Well, Colin is catching, he's gaining, he looks to the outside. Evil Master covers it off. But Colin knows he doesn't need to push too hard. Evil Master has got that penalty. Glassy now picking up a 3-second time penalty, but the guys behind have got a penalty, so he's at least covered off from that, but that will halt his progress towards Sminotla, who he's managed to take a 1.5 seconds out in the last half a dozen laps. So, but it will still be good points for the McLaren driver there, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Glassy, and now the penalties flooded in. Carton, Zabiaka. They're all fighting for who can get the most penalties at the moment. Colin on 2 warnings. He's still chasing. Colin will want to win this on track though, won't he? But this is a battle we saw last week, and this is a battle we're going to keep seeing going to the end of the season. Colin's front tyres currently 8% less wear than Evil Master, which has kind of been the story of the night. Evil Master really putting a lot of degradation through those tyres. Mango, 9 seconds of penalties, and that brings Davey into play even more. Davey, 11 seconds off him, but if Mango makes one mistake, that could... And Mango has made that mistake, and now he is going to be very, very at risk. And he's just 3 seconds up the road now from Davey. So Davey is going to be back on the podium. And currently, this is going to play out exactly the way Inorganic and yourself have predicted, which means Bet RPM might have to file for administration for giving such crazy odds on the podium, unless Luke can once again bail Bet RPM out for its crazy odds. He will be unhappy with Bookmaker Jones once again. Luckily, he's the highest paid commentator in the world. Colin, still very, very close here. But as I said, he might bide his time. But will he look to put Evil Master under even more increasing pressure? Higgsy past Huss. He's just 2 tenths behind Quinn. But Huss hanging on in there for 4 tenths behind. Maggot back into points positions, but that will be promoted even further because of DZ karting. And Davey just 8 tenths behind Mango here, so Mango's thrown it all away, unfortunately. As Red Hot Chili Peppers said, I believe it was in Under the Bridge, throw it away, or throw it all away. And Mango is throwing it all away even more. 12 seconds of penalties now, and it's turning into a bit of a nightmare end of the race for him, and he could get demoted a lot of positions because the guys behind, looking at Glassy there, a lot less penalties, and Mango's also off. In a wall. And unfortunately, I've been giving him tips on how to drive this week, as you can see there. Let's get back on board. We'll have a little look. Sinful in behind Maggot here. Maggot now up to 13th. As DZ Karting must have had a moment also. The battle rages on up front, but we will potentially have a little... Well, Davey's going to get a podium now for sure. He's got no... Well, actually, I say that's Sminotler. Sminotler's gaining. He's gaining. Ivor saying the record for penalties in RPM is 17 seconds, and Mango's out.
Mango's retired.
And will we won't get... I don't think we'll get a safety car. It's too late.
He's retired in the pit lanes. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well, we definitely won't get a safety car then. And that's very disappointing because he would have still got decent points. He would have ended up with probably points for 8th or 9th. And it's a real blow to me. More constructors' points go missing for Aston Martin. Karting also retiring in the pit lane, but he is reserving anyway, so his points would not have counted. Colin still stuck behind Evil Master here. And Sminotler is really gaining on Davey here. Sminotler, I love Davey and everything. He's brilliant. He's an amazing driver. He deserves a podium more than anybody after his unfortunate streak of disconnections. But I've got to say, come on, Sminotler. Bet RPM will go into administration without you. Get that move done. He's gaining. He is gaining. And it's going to come down to the last lap. If Sminotler... I imagine Luke will be giving Sminotler maybe a little €5 bribe here to get this move done, because otherwise Luke could be way, way in debt for bailing. I bet RPM out again at Evil Master and Colin doing some serious battle on this last lap. But it's going to cost Evil Master the win. He will still finish second. This is what we're going to see coming down the final stretch of the season. These two battling till the end. Colin just needs to keep it clean though. He doesn't need to take any risks at the moment.
Well, less than a tenth in Magus and Beckett for a moment there.
Yeah, that was actually frightening how close they got. And it shows how skilled these guys are. Yeah. That's why we're the toilet paper racing team in FCC. Yeah, absolutely. Inorganic saying he's on his way to the bank as we speak. Well, Sminotler's just within 4 attempts now. I'm going to watch this one to the line. Evil Master battling from Colin. Colin is going for the move on the line. He has to back out of it, but he'll take the win anyway. Sminotler now, he's not close enough. Come on, Sminotler! We need you to save it. Evil Master also picked up another penalty. I'm not sure what for on the line. And Davey will take that much, much deserved podium. He'll also put RPM into administration. This could be our last ever stream. Sminotler takes 4th position, a great drive from him. Glassy taking 5th position, a great recovery from him. Andrew 6th. Dragos, who I mentioned earlier, a brilliant drive into 7th. Quinn 8th, but he will lose that position to Higgsy in 9th. Can Huss do anything to potentially get a position as Luke picks up another penalty, but he's got a gap to Maggot. F1 Widow saying Evil's failing to serve a penalty, and yeah, that's right, and it won't affect him too much. Higgsy will take 8 from Quinn. Huss just misses out on it by half a second. Luke takes 11th, a good recovery drive because he was through the walls in the middle of that race. Maggot takes 12th, a disappointing night for the Aston Martin driver. Actually, he takes 13th because Sinful on penalties takes 12th. Zabayaka, and he's crossing the line in very, very slow style there into the pit lane. And God, that was an exciting race. I'm really enjoying the battle out front now with Colin and Evil Master every week. Evil Master penalties cost him this week, safety car last week. Maybe his luck will come next race. But Colin is being given a real run for his money at the moment.
It's just a shame that Evil's getting so much penalties. That's, I mean, did he lose the race on penalties in Imola as well?
He may well have done. No, I think it was it safety car? It was safety car in Imola. But then he did have a penalty as well. That's right, yeah. The safety car brought him into the penalty window. You're right again, Kieran. Smith saying, Jones, can we no longer afford to run telemetry servers? I've switched it off already, Smith. It's all gone Pete Tong. No, in all seriousness, terms and conditions apply with all RPM bets. It turns out it was expected to be a wet race, and as a result of it being dry, no bets will be refunded. We will be taking the stakes, and they will not be paying out. Bet RPM is thriving, and in fact, it's made its best profits of the year. Evil Master saying, will there be interviews? Yes, there will. You know where the party is. We've seen you here before. Get yourself in there. If Colin's listening, get yourself in here. I'm sure Davey should also be in this party. I'll just check now quickly. And we'll do some podium interviews. So what do you reckon about that? The rumours from the paddock that Bet RPM is surviving. Maybe a bit of corruption involved. What do you think about that, Kieran?
I think it's 100% fair. We need all the money we can get to run Bet RPM. And we can bring back telemetry now with all that money we've made.
Absolutely. Always read the small print is my motto. We do have a driver joining us here first. I can't multitask, Evil Master. I see you here, but I'm just going to invite Davey to the party as well here. But I can't add him, apparently. So he might have his settings not set up. I believe we might also get Colin. But anyway, we'll come to you, Evil Master. A 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. It was ultimately what cost you this week. It was a safety car and a penalty last week. When's your luck going to turn around? But you're really giving battle. Yeah. Do you think your luck will turn around next week?
Maybe. I went to the pits at 60, and yeah, I got that. So it was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's one that can catch you out. Unfortunately, I don't know why 37 miles an hour into the pit lane here. It's very frustrating. But another good race there. You did very well in the sprint. And yeah, taking the battle to Colin. Is that your main objective for the rest of the season? Is to obviously rack up the points for yourself, but just to keep Colin on his toes to the rest of the season?
Yeah, just to finish ahead. Almost got wiped out twice in the main race and in the sprint. So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that there was some comments in the Premier Division. I won't go into it too much, but we were expecting potentially some fireworks into the first corner between you and the Aston Martin driver. How did you find that on tyre wear, though? Because we saw you pitted very early with Colin on from the hards. Well, I say very early. earlier than the pit window suggests on the game. How did you find the tyre wear on the mediums?
Well, surprisingly, the mediums were better than the hards. The hards were at least, I think they were 60% when we boxed, which was quite confusing and wasn't a part of my plan boxing early. But yeah, it was just very, very confusing why the wear was so high throughout that race.
Yeah, and we don't know if it was Collins seemed to bide his time, and his wear was a bit lower. Well, it was about 10% lower when you pitted, so we were surprised to see Colin follow you in. But yeah, I think maybe it's just you were sat behind the Aston Martin, weren't you, for a few laps, and maybe that was doing a bit of damage.
Yeah, probably.
But more good points tonight. Again, I think you fall short of Collins' total, but only ever so slightly because you won the sprint. So 2 good weeks in a row, and Evil, we're loving seeing it. We're loving seeing you back, and we hope that you can keep up this great driving for the rest of the season.
Hope so as well.
Yeah, and well, it's made a big difference. I think there used to be another driver in that Red Bull seat. He was always facing backwards, but luckily you're not. Um, but we'll move on to Colin. Colin, another race win. How did you find it? You might be on mute. Oh, there it
Yeah, I
is.
was there. Yeah.
The Scottish drawl. I hear him loud and clear now.
Yeah. That was a good race. Enjoyed that, Evo. Well done.
Yeah, it really, really fun race for us to watch. 2 weeks in a row, we've seen you guys doing battle, and it was ebbing and flowing. Actually, a question for both of you because we missed it on stream. We saw sector 1 in a later lap when Evil was about 2.2 seconds clear. He lost 2 seconds. I'm guessing he had a moment. Cosmo.
And then when I tried to avoid him, he reversed and I clipped him. Luckily, didn't get damaged, but I lost all my time.
Ah, what a shame. What a shame. Yeah, Cosmo was having quite a few spins around the track tonight. He did have 98% wear on one of his tyres at that point, apparently. So, yeah, apologies for that, Eva. That's such a shame for you. Yeah, because we were wondering, we saw, 2 seconds have gone in the first sector, and you were at that point taking time out of Colin. So we were like, oh, what's happened here? Has he had a moment?
Yeah, he had dumped his ERS. He was trying to push and break a gap. I was going to counter that lap, but I wasn't going to catch him. There was no chance.
Yeah, and it's going to be, this is the thing I think myself and Kieran are really excited for, is that we've seen you guys do battle. There's been things happening in the last few laps that has maybe taken away that battle to the line with, we've had penalties and other stuff. We're hoping
I
that's
still had a go tonight.
Oh, we saw, yeah. We saw on those last few laps. Yeah, you got quite a lot of coverage. How did you find the tyre wear tonight?
Easy. I don't know what people are doing wrong. I'm running no wings, and my tyre wear's perfect.
Yeah,
Well, not no wings, but a lot lower than what other people were running, and my tyre wear was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's some of it just seems to be people a bit trigger happy on the throttle out of some corners, lighting up the rear tyres. And obviously it's a heavy load track, but I said to Kieran, I think you're playing the waiting game here.
I was at the end, because no offence to Evo, but in practice I went side by side with him 3 or 4 times, and every time I ended in a barrier. So when I seen that he got the 5-second penalty, and I seen how it happened, so I knew it couldn't be taken away, I thought I'll just wait till the last couple of laps and have a laugh. I wasn't going to push. I wasn't going to do anything stupid.
Yeah, as always, very, very sensible drive. And yeah, it was a tale of 2 races. I found this in First Division. I don't know if this is to both of you guys. Did you find it was so different, the racing from all drivers, from the sprint to the race? Like everyone was a bit more mindful in the race, but the sprint, it's just chaotic. Did you guys find that?
I nearly got murdered in the sprint, so yeah, it was very different.
And that was my first ever wet race with no line, so I don't even know what was going on. I was just holding on.
That was the first time I drove wet on Silverstone, in fact.
Yeah, I've never done
really?
it. No laps, so I was literally holding on for dear life. I wasn't
And both
Dry
with
watching
dry
anyone.
setup as well.
setups. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we had on Tuesday, and it's really hard because the game doesn't show you what the weather's going to be like for the race, so you're kind of banking
no,
on
so I gambled.
you're banking on going to hope it's dry for the race. If it's wet, it's going to be a sweaty evening. No, again, amazing.
I think your
For the
mics
same.
just went mental, Jones.
We've had some technical issues tonight so far. I hope that's a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah, a real privilege to watch you guys again tonight, and I hope we see the same next week. Yeah, and I hope you have a great weekend, you two, and great racing tonight. Congratulations, both of you, on your podium, and also a shout out to Davey picking up third place. Couldn't join the party for the interviews, but a great race from him. And yeah, any last words, Kieran, before we depart for another week?
Well, for Canada, it's next week. Canada is, isn't it? Because I know in Canada, the breaking the 50-meter and the 100-meter boards, they're so small for me that I can barely see them. But I think hoping that we get an exciting race like we did this week in Canada.
Yeah, and it's. Oh, sorry, Kieran. Carry on.
I was gonna say I don't really rate Canada as high as other people do.
Love the place.
Yeah, see, that's the track that I always used to drive, so I have
Terrible.
fond memories of it. There we go. We got. It's the two oldies are loving it. The two youngsters hating it.
It's a
Maybe it's
terrible track.
a generation thing. I think that's what we can conclude from that. I say I like it. If you tune in on Tuesday night, all three of you, you'll see an Aston Martin shaped gap in the wall somewhere. But yeah,
All the
thank you.
champions.
That certainly won't be where I end up then. I'll be in the wall of losers somewhere else around the track. But yeah, thank you for everyone who tuned in tonight. Thank you for the podium sitters who joined the interviews. And this has been RPM at Esports. This has been Premier Division, and we will see you next week in Canada, same time, same place. Thank you very much for stopping.